Our top story tonight, NAU students gathered in the First Amendment Plaza in protest of the suggested government reduction of the Pell Grant.
The Pell Grant provides financial aid to those who demonstrate great financial need. Without this grant, a vast amount of students will not be able to continue pursuing higher education, and many will have to seek out private loans to continue their degree quest. NAZ Today's Carrie Lawrence has more on just how this could affect students.
We're here to raise some Pell.
Students gathered right outside the First Amendment Plaza for the Raising the Pell protest. Federal Pell Grants help students from low-income families to fund their schooling. Many of these students protesting today are first-generation college students who would be unable to support themselves without federal aid. Proposed federal budget cuts by Paul Ryan would eliminate the Pell program, leaving these students with no other choice than to take costly loans for their education. Students across Arizona are raising Pell in response to these proposed budget cuts. They want their representatives to know that they will not stand for these cuts to educational budgets. For them, education is not a choice. It is something that they need to make it in the world.
We want Congress to know that we're listening. As students, our voices are often discounted. People don't really think that we're paying attention, but we're paying close attention, and we're going to hold them accountable.
The proposed budget cuts would reduce Pell Grants by $125 billion over the next decade. It also freezes the maximum grant without accounting for the rising cost of education. It is estimated nationally 1.7 million students will lose their Pell funding altogether, and at NAU, funding will disappear entirely for around 600 students. These budget cut plans will result in large cuts to education, job training, medical research, and other domestic programs. Students feel that cutting the Pell Grant will not only hurt individual students, but education in general.
If the Pell Grant is reduced, then I think tuition goes up because we have less funding for schools.
Look to fund students and have opportunities available for students to continue to receive higher education. We need more funding. We don't need to cut the funding that we don't really have much of.
Ryan's proposal will also cause subsidized loans to start accruing interest while the student is still in school. NAU students who are already pursuing their education with help from the federal aid worry that they might not be able to continue on their education. Some NAU students believe that the budget cut is an exact representation of how the government feels about the need for education in America, and they're making sure that their voices are heard. With NAZ Today, I'm reporter Carrie Lawrence.